gonna say, I won't.
Yeah.
They're looking for right. Hello? I'm saying it has been started. Thank you. Amazing. Yeah. There.
Live and ready and all the things. All right, we have enough people.
I'm all set, I'm on.
Much smaller, but the room is really nice. All right, welcome everybody to our first CCD meeting back at City Hall.
You can see that.
Any questions on the meeting minutes from August? Second. All in favor? All right. My report. Let's start with that. Yeah, I wanted to tell you all about a very impromptu collaboration we did with the Downtown Bangor Partnership a couple of weeks ago. They were putting an ad in Portland Magazine, I think, so it was a little bit more tourist focused. Possible people who might travel up here from Portland, you know, some might, especially with the concerts. And so they put an ad out for October with some of their events, specific with the Sidewalk Art Festival, and they highlighted our Bangor Arts Award and just generally October. So we collaborated a little bit. They did all the design of it because we didn't have time and I didn't have all the assets. But turns out now I do, which is great. So we will collect all the actual logos that were made for October and we have more access to those things. I can see if I have the actual ad. One moment. But it's possible they also shared it on Facebook. There we go. The ad looks right. Is that? Nope. All right, I can't find it. Cool. So that's being printed. It was a very fast turnaround, so we didn't have a chance to tell everybody. Also, because we can't officially do CCD business over email, but we learned about the ad on a Sunday and it had to be submitted on a Tuesday, so we just went for it. We figured everybody would be okay with that. I hope that's true. We also, she mentioned something about a Facebook page that she found. Monique is, I think, their marketing person at Downtown Bangor Partnership. And so I want to make sure we take a look at the October, at our Facebook page and update it for October. How do you use everyone?
I can get in. I don't think I have the login.
All right.
So I don't know if I'm an admin or if the
Yeah.
previous admin just granted me power.
Yeah.
Like if I'm on a certain computer and I'm on Facebook, I can switch over to the October account.
Okay.
But what the login info is,
Right. I wonder if you can also give others permission.
I don't know if I have that power.
That's the issue we had last year.
Yeah.
So you were gonna
I was gonna let you, and then I didn't have admin power. I was just granted like access by a previous admin.
Yeah. All right.
But I could try to contact that previous admin and see if I can just get them to give me.
You should be able to see who it is on the page, okay.
Yeah.
So I can try that.
And then we'll have access. We do also have, we'll talk about this during the October section, but we've got details on when we're doing the award ceremony.
This is the end.
Yes.
Cute. I was gonna say, I know I saw it. I saw it online. Yeah, I thought it looked really good.
Sorry, it's little because summer bomb, but very nice and bright.
It is bold.
Yeah. And right, they didn't stray too far from our existing October. All right, we have not, the other thing she asked about is, we haven't made an event for the Arts Award celebration in the past. Facebook event, we could.
Oh, I think we did.
we? Okay,
Maybe not the last one, but.
maybe not, okay, let's try that again this year. Mostly because I think Downtown Bigger Partnership is making events for all their things, and so they can share it that way.
If you make them hosts, then they can share it as their event.
Right.
As well as ours, and that might increase our reach.
Yeah. Cool. They did also offer that if we haven't done it yet, they can make one and make us co-host. But I think maybe for the Arts Award, let's redo it and then. All right. Other things. Other chair report things. This is not really chair report, but Jen, we were talking about a possible other grant we could apply for. Do you have any updates?
I do, so through the Maine Arts Commission, they have an organizational operating expenses grant. Looks like they typically grant right around $7,500, and we would qualify as a arts-based municipal sponsored organization. So I looked through, the application's not open yet, it opens on September 17th and closes on October 17th. And then the grant would be awarded based on last year's around late January. So we could use it because it's operational expenses. We could use it for like artist stipends if we're getting a stipend to an artist to install. We can use it to help pay for supplies for works like that. We can use it for marketing expenses, things like that, but it would have to be for a specific, something that we have planned, upcoming, so nothing that's already happened. And it would have to be specific. The only question I had, I don't know what our yearly operating expenses are. But we would have to have operating expenses of 25,000. Do we hit that?
It's 22,500.
That's what I thought, so that,
And it's not technically, not all of that is operating expenses.
It doesn't have to be operating.
20,000 is grant money.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
It just has to be part of our, but they do say several times that 25,000 is the minimum. So if we don't receive any monies from any other places, that brings our yearly operating expenses above 25,000, probably wouldn't be eligible.
We used to get donations for October, didn't we
Yeah.
do that last year? Are we doing it this year?
I think what we're doing is, it's not a specific donation necessarily, but it is a discount from what people would usually pay to like rent.
So it's like an
It's an in-kind, so for, yeah, if in-kind can be part of that, then maybe we could make a case this year, but it's a bit tenuous.
I'd be happy to reach out to them and find out if in-kind donations would count toward that.
Yeah.
Operating expenses, because I think if we had something that we would be using it for in next year, in
And
2026.
The thing I was thinking of immediately is the Pickering Square art boxes.
Yes.
Materials and artists.
Materials for artists, stipends for artists, and we could
That's
do quite a bit with that amount. It's not a ton of money for like a mural or something bigger, but I think for a monthly
right.
art installation.
I'll reach out to them.
Okay.
And keep you updated.
Yeah. Do you know anybody who worked there already?
I don't.
Okay. I
They
can
have a lot of,
to you,
okay,
or I can reach out because I do know some of them.
either way, it's totally fine.
Okay. All right. Any questions about that grant, other grants, other ideas? If anybody comes across anything that we might qualify for, let me know. We do always, I think, have to ask city council as we're applying, so let's figure out if we're eligible, if that would work, and then we'll ask Anne to put it in front of council in the next month so that we can, I'm gonna guess that would be a slightly smaller application than the NEA grant.
I would think, yeah, it doesn't,
So,
it didn't look too arduous based on last year. They did say that there are gonna be some changes this year. But I've applied for their grants before and they're usually pretty, like it's very black and white. You kind of fill in the information and send them the supplemental materials that they asked for, and there's not a lot of follow-up from else.
and now that we have applied for the NEA grant, we have a whole document of so much information that I think any subsequent grant would be much easier. Cool. Any other questions at the moment or any chat? All right, financial reports. Actual balance is 20,081. Sarah, this reconciliation between 25 and 26, does that mean that 2,500 for October that we're approved?
Yes,
Filled in
so
both?
no, the 2,500 is on the second page. Our October has a separate account.
Gotcha.
So actually, the grant money for Marilee Schoen finally got paid out.
Great.
Because she got everything to need to be submitted, so she didn't end up using the full 300 that she was awarded, which is why you actually have that extra $81 in your account. So it's not a lot, but it's a little bit extra anyway for this year. Yep.
Great. Any questions on finances? All right. Next, committee reports. Anything from the board?
Just to say that the grant cycle is open, so can we get like an announcement about applying to grants, Sarah, on the city's social pages? So the grants are due October 1st. The form is like visible and live on the city's website, but just kind of needs to be, I think, pushed people's way. I'm guessing none have come in yet.
No, I will say historically, grant applications don't come in until the last 1 or 2 days.
They're an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I say that as an artist. So I will call a meeting after October 1st. I'll just send out an email to the whole commission to see who wants to join the grants committee for this round. And we'll do a pre-vetting just to make sure all of the applications we receive are complete and eligible, and see if there's any missing information. And then we'll make an initial recommendation, which we'll bring to the full commission for the November meeting. So I looked at the form, I didn't think it needed updating. I think the spring round went pretty smoothly. So I mean, the ongoing perennial question is whether we reduce it from 2 cycles to 1.
But I like a focus group or talk to the people or something.
Yeah, so that's something maybe we'll think about in the vetting meeting. Maybe whoever joins the committee, we can talk about it. We can reopen the issue and see if we want to, for 2026, start a focus group, or at least just poll our usual applicants to see if it's something that would work for them. Really don't want to make it impossible for certain institutions to like apply for a grant if that one submission cycle won't work with their programming schedule. So that's it, I think, for now, until we get those applications. So spread the word.
Yes. Cultural Asset Committee.
We haven't met.
October committee. So, apologies. you all have his notes that he very kindly sent this morning. We did meet as a committee 2 weeks ago. The application, the nomination forms are due this Sunday. So if you have not shared it on your socials yet, if you know anybody who you might be interested, feel free to send it their way. As of a couple weeks ago, we had 14 nominations come through, and I don't know how many of those might be duplicates. Do you have an updated number?
Yes, there were some duplicates and there's another 8 submissions.
Wow. Okay, cool.
So
That's
I haven't looked through those new 8 ones to know if there's more duplicates, but yeah.
Okay, and you don't have to. The committee will vet, clean it up Monday, so there, I think it closes end of day Sunday, so if you can just send them to Sundance and to me Monday morning, then we'll go through it, we'll clean it up, we'll vet. And then we will meet with the jurors. Ben, do you have an update
I
on?
do have an update on that, really. But with those 3 people, I heard back from all of them. One was available.
Okay,
Kara Alexic from Red Rabbit, she's available.
Awesome.
I've already emailed this to Sundance this morning, just to let him know that that's the case.
all right, cool.
Mhm.
Ben Lehman, who won last year, is also in as a juror, because we do always ask the previous winner to be a juror in the next year. So we need 2 more, and Sundance will reach out to the 2 alternates we had talked about, or he'll let me know to reach out to someone.
Yeah, or I mean, we can still, I still have other ideas, but I
Yeah.
can talk to him about that maybe.
Yeah.
See what he comes up with
Yeah.
first.
I think we should try to get it done by the end of the weekend. Because we will need to meet with the jurors, the actual jurying will need to happen at the end of next week. So that we have time to get the report engraved.
You want me to do that again?
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I did miss their meeting. Apologies, but
yeah, if you want to, that would be great.
if we want to do the same route of the clipboard
That's
from
what
the
we
same
have. Yeah,
fighters with working.
yeah. Cool, we like it, looks great. So far, I think all the winners have liked it. Cool.
I do have, sorry, just one more email from Sundance
Oh,
about that.
yeah.
So same thing that you just said, he's gonna reach out to the alternates that were already identified, which include Sarah McCarthy and Betsy Lundy. But he did ask that if people have other ideas, if you could email him by noon today with the contact information for those people. That was his request.
And,
Let's open that up right now.
and you know who it was already contacted?
So Emily Burnham and who's the other one? I forget. Kara, Emily, and I don't remember who the other person.
The artist.
The artist I was reaching out to, but they weren't available. I can't-
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it on. Let me see what I can do.
John.
I was thinking John Tanner as well.
He's coming out of town, out of the country for a couple weeks.
I think that suggested Amy Giroux. She's the new development director for Bangor Symphony Orchestra. But she was at Knoxville Theater Company prior to that.
She's been on the season, I know Amy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John Tanner, he's the president of the Bangor Art Society. He'd be a good juror.
Yeah.
I have his contact info if you want me to just email that over now to Sundance. Probably a good idea.
Yeah. Will you email Amy's name to Sundance also?
Nina Jerome.
She lives in Brunswick, Michigan. Yeah, with it.
Please keep track of all the people you have with you. Any other ideas?
Pat Johnson,
Yeah.
an artist, and I know he
Yeah.
was a big one.
Issues for high school.
Yeah. I can email her contact.
She may be nominated, but she was last year, so. But they can.
They would just recuse themselves from, I guess, but
Be a little.
yes.
I mean, and that could be the case with any of these suggested changes.
Can you take a quick look through
Yeah, happily.
and just confirm or deny if this should reach out?
Bear with me.
Yeah, thank you. And then after the jurors meet, the committee will meet one more time. We talked about this again. We're still keeping the winner secret. Last year it was convenient because we had a juror who could nudge the winner to join us for the award ceremony. We'll have to see this year if that's possible, if anybody has a close connection, or if we do have to nudge the winner slightly more so that we can ensure they show up. We talked a little bit because some people have felt a little awkward in the past because they knew and others didn't know, but we as a committee discussed and we thought it still is really nice for more people to show up and for the artists to support each other. And I think that's gonna be less likely if everybody knows who won ahead of time. So I think for now, we're gonna keep it that way.
So all the names that I have heard mentioned so far are safe to reach out to.
Did Bangor Beautiful put in an application?
A grant application?
No. For the Arts Award? Yeah.
I don't know that they submitted one themselves, but there's a nomination for them.
Okay, because Kat's on that, so that could be like the conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Voting
Right.
for her own institution.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, people have known the nominees before, but I don't think we've had someone who's a juror who was within the group that was nominated. So
It's absolute.
let's hold on that for now.
Yeah.
Cool. The event will be at the Stage Door Wednesday, October 1st from 6:30 to 7:30. We will have some sort of a graphic post and we'd love to share it, have all of you share it. And we'd love for everybody to show up if you can that night. It's not gonna be very long. We will have food and same as last year, we're gonna bill it as slightly more of a networking and like artist supporting artists event. So we will again print the sheet of information of all the nominees. We will highlight them all that night, kind of introduce them all. And more people show up, the better. And we'll have food for everybody and then it'll be buy your own drinks at the Stage Door. We will, oh yeah, last year we just got flowers at Tiller and Rye, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That, working on my clipboard. And then we will.
And there was a certificate printed?
Oh yeah.
Just that, I think City Hall printed it.
Yeah. Yes, and we also we'll have the city print the nominee sheet so we can do the certificate at the same time. Mm-hmm. And we were thinking we might reprint the map again this year. The map it has the QR codes to the Downtown Bangor Partnership Calendar and Bangor Sevenths. So we'll take a look, but I don't think it needs many, if any, updates. We'll just need to make sure all the businesses that were highlighted still exist.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
I don't know if Red Rabbit's on there, but they do kind of act as a gallery space sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
If they're not, we should add
I
them.
mean, tonight.
I don't have the native file I've asked for. I just have a ready PNG. So I can ask again because some of those small updates, I don't think we really have budget this year to make an update. Mm-hmm. We did talk about still at some point, if and when we have more budget, to update that map so that it also highlights or instead highlights art in town. So maybe after the assets committee has a chance to do another update, we could add murals or we could, any public art could be on it. But that's not this year.
With just thinking budget wise, what Stage Door is charging?
I don't. Sundance wanted to talk to them. He thought maybe 500. And then maybe 500 for food. But I don't know.
They charge 500 just for the
No,
venue?
Actually, I think the venue was, they're not charging for the actual venue. They don't have.
Just 500 per kid?
Let's confirm with that because he didn't know for sure yet the last time we met.
Did we get a plaque for the winter show?
I had that on my list of updates for you, so I reached out to Da Vinci Signs to just get a quote on what that would cost first. And so then once I get that back from them, I'll talk to Anne and see, because I know we had discussed whether we could possibly put some of our own department budget towards it, so that less was coming out of Cultural Commission. So that's where I'm at, is just collecting the information. Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Any other October questions? Anything I'm forgetting? We will not have another commission meeting before the October event. So we can send reminders over email. I will also, once we have the graphics and things to share, I will share that over email. All right. Pickering Square discussion. I think that means you're up.
Good morning.
Good morning. Do they have to join us at the table?
It would be helpful. I know there's limited room, so if you want to be at the podium, you're
Yeah, it's fine.
welcome to
It's
be,
fine.
so.
That's fine. Well, good to see you again, Joe.
Hi there, folks.
So we were very pleased, of course, with your support at our last meeting that you received a unanimous vote in support of moving forward with the historical marker at Pickering Square. Since that time, I've been kind of channeling images and text to Sarah. I know she updated your packet. Matt Bishop was very kind to go through his archive at the Historical Society of Pickering Square Images, which has now been included in that packet. And I came across in my archive Mr. Pickering's obituary that was printed in the Bangor Wigan Courier.
I have not died yet.
Oh, nice. Hopefully not for a good long time. And I was able to that was provided to me by Greta Shorter at the library, and I transcribed that and shared that with you. Really quite a remarkable story. If you've had a chance to read through it, I mean, just an amazing guy and a really touching obituary. So I think we're probably, I think we're done doing the research, unless there's something specific that the commission is looking for that we can help with. The concern about the images is that some of them are kind of small in file size, but you can do things with that. Okay, you can either rescan them if we have the originals, or I'd like to get the resolution as high as possible, because when you expand it, then you lose some of that granular detail. And if you'd like our help with that, I'm happy to play a role in that. So I'm curious to know, the commission moving forward. First of all, I want to tell you, for a group of people who are so dedicated to the aesthetics of how Bangor is represented, you must be very happy to be meeting in this place. This really came out nice, really nice. So I'm curious to hear from the commission as to how you see things moving forward. I heard somebody immediately jump online and look for, potential grants for this. I know Maine Historical Commission might, I don't know, I haven't looked at that yet. As a professional grant writer, I'm happy to do some research and see if I can find some leads and assist with that. But again, I don't want to overstep. So to whatever extent you would like help or information or whatever, we can play a role. Okay.
We might need some advice, Sarah, on next steps or what the commission can do.
Yeah,
What is a separate project that we are just supporting?
so I think it's, sort of up to you, Jay and Joe, and the commission to discuss if you would like to make the proposal yourself in regards to what this is going to look like, or if you're looking for the commission's guidance on sort of like what type of display you're looking for.
Sure.
And then once you settle on some sort of a proposal, then we'll just take that through the committee and full city council level at that point. So really your next step is just deciding on who's sort of taking the lead on the proposal itself.
Well, we had an excellent experience working with Da Vinci Sign. I happen to know the Binance. My father knew every sign maker in the state, of course. And when Tracy told me that they'd won the bid, I was out there later that week, and I think I may have told her. I said, I've got a lot of stuff. I know the story pretty well, how the statue came about. I've read quite a lot of history of Paul Bunyan and Dave. And I've got a lot of images in my archive. Would you like my, oh, and I happen to be a writer. So would you like my help? And oh, we'd love your help, Jay. We want this to turn out just right. That's what I was interested in. I didn't want to make it a shrine to my father because my father was very quick to give credit to people like Connie Bronson and Gordon Clapp. So I was mindful of that to make sure that it wasn't, Jane O'Mill Martin's, marker, that it was the story of Paul Bunyan and Bangor and our lumber history and all the rest. So the reason I say that is that Da Vinci took the lead in designing the kiosk, did a wonderful job. I advised on it. Again, just like I'm hoping to do with this particular project, feeding images. I offered, 70% of the text on those markers came from my computer. But I'm sure that we can find someone who's much more knowledgeable about, Bangor's history and how we could present the story of Pickering Square and Mr. Pickering himself than I would be. So I don't want to overstep here, but I'm just, Joe and I are interested in seeing this project come out, as good as we can make it. So I'm not real super comfortable with taking the lead on laying out the design, but I would like to play a role in, assisting with that. Because it worked out so well with Da Vinci. They did a wonderful job. So, but I do know that this costs money and, it takes time to, obviously you need to put it in the budget. I think it was 4 or 5 years in the making for the Paul Bunyan project. And, of course, you got to fit it in the budget. Tracy had to put money in for the painting of the statue, and that's, when it all happened. So anyways, Joe's going to poke me here if I don't shut up. So that's where we're coming from.
It doesn't work.
So Joe, what's your point of view on this?
My point of view is that in terms of when I think of, I often attend the Historic Commission. And what I'm amazed at is how intertwined culture is with history. And if you don't value history, then you're not going to value Bangor's culture. And I think that's why it's important to, for example, to get the name right, name the Pickering Square what it was, from George Washington Pickering, who I believe probably the name George Washington Pickering, I think, is directly related to the Pickering House, where one of the Pickerings had a very led Timothy Pickering had a very was served under 3 positions served in the Revolutionary with George Washington, and also served in 3 cabinet positions from George Washington. And so they had a very close working relationship. So a lot of the males descended all the way down were named either John Pickering, first my great-great-great-grandfather way back, built the Pickering House in 1640 or so, and George and many other males are named George Washington Pickering. And I haven't done all the tracing back, and I've tried to encourage the Pickering House to do it, but I don't think they want to do it. So I think it's important to value Bangor's history. And quite frankly, let me just do an aside here. I would, first of all, I commend you all for being volunteers. The pay ain't too high. And it's really important that I would love to see at some point in time, the Bangor City Council approve the idea of a combined session or meeting or subcommittee or something with the Historic Commission and the Cultural Commission to study Maine's Bangor's current laws on land, etc. Because I don't want to get into this in detail, but just say there's a need for Bangor to value its own, the need for Bangor to value its its land as well as its housing. And I think that law is, the Historic Commission, there was the law that was passed way back, I think in 2009 or something like that, is antiquated. And anyway, the focus, I think, could be to how can we improve Bangor's history? How can we give recognition? Because if you don't give recognition, you can't really create culture. And it grows from there.
So one of the things that the obituary uncovered was that Mr. Pickering was a lumber baron. And wouldn't it be a great opportunity to expand on that to again, I mean, we're right at the confluence of the Kenduskeag and the mighty Penobscot. I mean, what a great spot to, just similar to what we talked about on the Paul Bunyan statue signage. And Sarah, to your point as to who would lead this, the names that immediately jump to mind are Greta Schroeder, if she would be interested in working on this, our local historian at the library. I've worked with Greta on a couple of projects. She's very charming and hardworking, knowledgeable lady. And I don't know if Dick Shaw would want to take this on. I think he's well retired, but Dick is he's got vast knowledge of the city's history and has done quite a lot of writing. And there's probably others that I don't know that we could talk to. But again, I would like to play kind of an assistant role or in that regard. So what's the steps forward then? I mean, you need to figure out the funding, which I'm understanding you'd probably be seeking grants rather than having this come out of the city budget, or?
I think that's a fair question. If the Paul Bunyan plaques came out of the Parks and Rec budget, is there a chance that this could come out of the Parks and Rec budget?
Yeah, so I think, if it seems like the direction that you're gonna go in is to maybe have like the proposal itself and the project led at the city level, whether it's you guys, with some joint participation from Jay and Joe and maybe some others, then I think we should invite Tracy to an upcoming meeting to discuss more of the logistics of that. And then at that point, you can decide if you want to look at a proposal, get some idea of what the costs might be, and maybe propose this in next fiscal year's budget, or if it's something you want to try and move forward with sooner and pursue some grant funding for, or maybe you do a combination of the two things. But yeah, I think that would sort of be the best avenue forward.
Any questions from the commission?
I had a thought. So Andy, like Da Vinci Signs, did they give you any kind of price or what they would charge?
I didn't. That was Tracy's entirely, and I try not to ask questions that are not my business. So I never did ask and never did find out. Okay. I'm curious though, because the photos I provided for the transit center, we have really two walls there. I don't know if you'd want to just focus on one side. The left side is the best because there's no camera that would kind of limit the space. Or both sides, I don't know. To what extent, we would tell the story and how that would work aesthetically. The other name I meant to mention, of course, in terms of the history is Matt Bishop, of course. I mean, a very nice guy and very knowledgeable and always willing to help. So I am going to diplomatically raise a point, a matter that we've been trying to resolve since the Paul Bunyan statue signage was erected in February. And I'm going to just ask for your help or advice. Both Joe and I have been in touch with Tracy to follow up on one final point involving that sign. During the design process, we wanted to have people experience the statue in a multimedia fashion so that people could look up Joe's wonderful ballad of Paul Bunyan, which is the quick to give credit to his fellow writer. And so we went back and forth. Should we have a CR code? We tried the CR code. It wasn't reliable. So then Tracy came up with the idea, well, let's just send them to bangormaine.gov. Perfect. Then they can even explore Bangor even further. Great idea. If you go to bangormaine.gov, the ballot's not there. Okay. And it hasn't been there. And we've asked repeatedly, both Joe and I. And I'm at the stage now where I'm looking for help. And maybe the commission can help. of getting that done. What I envision is that people go to the homepage and there's a box there, say, you know, you click on the box somewhere. But that's my thought. I don't know, but I mean, to expect people to navigate into the website to find that ballot is going to be difficult. So they would need to have an easy way to click to hear the ballot of Paul Bunyan. And I know this. You said the Chamber of Commerce has marked it as the official song. Does the city of Bangor have an official song? I wonder. So okay, so. Yeah, that if that's something that that you'd like to kind of follow up on, that would be helpful. Because now we've had thousands of visitors come by and okay, BangorMaine.gov, and they, you know, I envision, you know, kids looking up and listening to a song on the way to the coast. You know, wouldn't that be fun? And the CR code would have worked great, but it just wasn't reliable. So.
And that's where that was. It wasn't reliable. What was wrong with it?
It has to do with the website that these songs are posted on. So it's, I'm not sure what the name of the service.
Well, no, the song, first of all, the Paul Bunyan song actually is in about 170 digital download companies throughout the world, okay? We don't celebrate it in Bangor apparently. I write all kinds of songs, and one of the King of the Road music is on broadjam.com or anywhere actually. And let me make it clear, I'm not if I'm not interested in. I'm simply interested in having people have a free listen. They don't have to pay anything. Okay. Well, it's very, very funny. Last night, I went to the place where you buy, what's the name of it? Dairy Queen. And I was talking with this one of the ladies, and she said, and I mentioned the song and the 5 kiosks, and she said, "Oh, I'll have to bring my boyfriend down, and he can listen to the song." And I said, "No, here's my card. Why don't you listen to it there?" Well, the reason is she couldn't listen to the song down there. Nobody can click on it, you know, because it's not there. It's an uncompleted, you know, tiny little project, and it's ridiculous, you know. So, I gave her my little card, and so she can get it. Go to Broadjam or YouTube or whatever, and listen to it for free.
It's on YouTube as well.
It's on
But
YouTube.
again, things change on YouTube.
Could link to that YouTube site.
Yeah.
And you can just QR code and go with that.
Yeah, but the signs are printed already.
We talked about
Sticker and put it over it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, sticker is something we can consider. I know Parks and Rec doesn't have full control over the website, and neither do we.
Sure.
So it's not as easy as, oh, we'll just put up a little box and the
Yeah,
song will be there. I think that's a bigger question, especially if we're looking at trying to put the song on the homepage. I know the site was just redesigned fairly recently, but I don't know exactly how it's built and kind of what the options are. And right, a YouTube embed is easy on the site potentially, but also that would be a video, or, you know, we can't just say, yes, we'll put it on the homepage. We as a commission have slightly more control over our pages, so we could potentially consider putting it on one of our pages.
We'll have to update that URL anyway.
But right, it doesn't, it still would mean a few clicks, you don't just get there on the homepage.
So in the back and forth on the CR code, you know, and whether we send them to broadband or send them to YouTube or whatever, and the fact that CR code, we would test it and it would change. I don't know why.
Why?
That it was unreliable.
Yeah.
That the city's website was the most reliable solution, and that's why we put it on the sign, so it wouldn't need to be changed at all.
Of course.
And so visitors have been going to BangorMaine.gov and not accessing the song. So I understand, you know, the whole aspect of the city has its website and it's there for a purpose. But now we're in a situation where we've committed to this on the kiosk. And it's one little detail that is kind of nagging at us.
Right, no, we totally understand,
I think the
why don't we
QR code.
follow up?
I'm
With-
happy to follow up at a staff level
Yeah.
for sure.
Great, and then we can follow up with you once we know a little bit more
Yeah.
about kind of what the limitations are of the homepage and maybe also what the permissions we would have to go through are to
Yeah.
make an update to the homepage of the website.
This was Tracy's solution, and I thought it was a great idea, and of course, it was his decision, you know, it's his project.
Absolutely, right, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you for that, I appreciate
And if
that.
you have either the file itself or a preferred link
I'll send you the
to
link.
email to me, that would be great.
Everybody should really hear it, it's very cute. And he wrote a song too called Bring Babe Back to Bangor at the time that we talked about having Babe join Paul, and the city council voted for it unanimously. I should share with you the image of my dad's wonderful, Jerry Palmer got after him, I don't know, 12 years ago or so. We need Babe to join Paul, and there's nobody better to design it than Paul, Shane Norman Martin. And so Dad did. It took a couple of months and put together a wonderful clay model of Babe, and the city council voted in favor. And then the project went 6 ways to Sunday. It never really took flight because everybody had a different idea on how it should come out. But WBRC and Nick O'Day were, you know, fully supportive. And it would be fun to pick it up again some other time perhaps, but if we can do it in a more organized fashion. But anyway, I'm going on at length. Thank you very much for your time. I'm watching the clock
Just
here.
a second, I haven't finished. Just for that.
Oh,
And by the way, I did write the song, Bring Babe Back to Bangor, and it's a funny little thing. And what I wanted to, I'm gonna give you guys, I would like to have a fundraising for that at some point in time, not costing 1 penny of city money. And I would like to see if we ever did fundraising for it, to bring Babe Back to Bangor, which is also on the website. So give it a listen, great. It would bring a lot of laughter. America needs laughter today, a lot more than it has ever needed before. But anyways, that would be a nice thing. And what I wanted to do, quite frankly, and I'd like to make this public, that if we do private funding, I would like to see 1/2 of the funding go to funding for certain projects that relate to people with severe brain disorders, not mental health, but health problems, severe brain disorders.
Yeah.
That's what we ought to be calling it.
Okay, well, thank you.
So I will pass this around for anybody who would like to take a picture. Take a look at that. We will follow up with Tracy. We'll invite Tracy to one of our next meetings. Possibly the October one, if we've got time. And then we can discuss further about who can put together the proposal, who can follow up to get some cost estimates.
Yeah.
I think whether we do 1 panel or 2 panels will depend on the cost and where the funding is coming from. So I think we've got a few open questions. This is not gonna be a quick panel.
Yeah, no, I
But
think
it is
I
an
mean-
exciting project, and I think we all will be happy to work on it.
Good, yeah, and reach out to me through Sarah, and to whatever extent, again, you're looking for input or just, I'm happy to play a role to that extent. I introduced myself to Mike Gonzalez last night. I happened to be going by his shop. He was getting ready for, getting his gallery ready. And he told me about the artwork tonight, and you're gonna raise some money for the homeless. I hope that goes well.
I'm not personally doing that. There's an associated,
Yeah.
Dignity First is associated with it.
Oh.
I hope that they do too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, I can't join you because I gotta go see Mr. Dillon and Mr. Nelson for the first time.
Yes, that's right.
I will be too.
Ready to go?
The
Okay,
art
we're gonna
walk
get out of here.
Thanks, guys. We really
and the
appreciate it.
concert. So you can see the art walk and also still see. the
Oh, see the
animation.
show. Okay, all right. Yeah. Very nice to see you folks. Thank you for service.
Yeah, good to see you both.
The Dignity First Artwork starts at 3. So this starts at 4, Dignity First
They're starting
started
earlier.
at 3, so.
Thank
can
you all.
see
And
all the.
one last comment. If the decision is not to do it, with logical, and that might be very logical, okay, not to do that little, finish it. Then the city really, out of respect for the public, should inform the public that it's not available. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, all right, thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to see you again. Thank you.
All right,
With that, a QR code is probably like, I think the problem is that they didn't use this reliable QR code generator.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've seen that problem before. I have QR codes that I made 4 years ago. They go exactly where they need to go.
I think the concern with making a new QR code and a sticker is that these are metal plaques.
Oh, yeah,
and
I hear that.
sticker
Okay. No, I
will
didn't know that.
not be
Didn't
a
know
part of
that.
it.
No,
And I don't think there's really budget to,
could you put something underneath that?
yeah, so I think it's an ongoing conversation. We'll follow up, Sarah, on whether we can put it on a page or if it. Are there, maybe put it on our page and do a redirect,
Yeah, we have staff that work specifically on the website, so I plan on following up with them and Tracy together and we'll see what we can come up with. Yeah.
I'm just like a little confused. So like linking to a YouTube video, are there any concerns over like who owns that video?
I was gonna say copyright issues or whatever.
Can you just link to a YouTube video? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, if it's a public video,
Okay.
then yes, and it can be
They could
embedded.
take it down.
I think it probably would, right, it probably would make more sense for the. And this is all making assumptions, but if there's an audio file that's posted somewhere,
Mhm.
an audio player widget embed would make more sense than an actual YouTube link. But I don't know exactly what the file is, I don't know where it's
You can pull the
and-
audio file from a YouTube. I mean, that's how I get half my
Yeah.
music for TJ, so you can do that and just host it somewhere else. and
Yeah.
Use that website.
If we're not using it like playing 24/7 on the Bangor website, though, when you click on the website, I don't think you're gonna pull it down, like we're not using that music as our own. You know what I'm saying? That wouldn't be a
mean,
copyright issue just to click on a link and go watch it.
It does still matter who owns.
Yeah,
the-
true.
this.
Is it not his song?
It is his,
Okay.
so, yeah, but and right,
There's
there's
a performer, so.
right, and so there just are still some open questions. We will follow up, we'll see what Tracy says and what is possible on the website. And we'll go from there. All right. The art installations, we now only have 8 minutes. In save. We talked last month about building an ad hoc committee for this Pickering Square installations boxes thing to start planning. What kind of a schedule we might want, who we might want to approach. I think we still have some open questions there, and that's fine. I don't think today is a decision day on this project. Sarah, do we have any updates on timeline for the boxes?
Yes, so 2 things I wanted to let you guys know about. So one, Jefferson, our city engineer, who's kind of heading the Pickering Square project, he said that the timeline is moving along pretty well. He thinks potentially they will be ready in October, actually.
Oh.
Which is fine, like I don't think you need to worry about getting something in there right away. But he did want me to offer to you guys, if you're interested, if they can get one installed a little bit early, and then invite you down for a walkabout with him to see it in person. He thought that might be helpful if you guys are interested in something like that. So I'm happy to coordinate that if you would like to do it.
That would be great. I mean, I'm happy to go see them. I think it would help us figure out how to best advertise. and
Yeah.
Maybe also what kind of schedule we want, and like who.
If they got one done early, a great idea would be to put the RFP, like the call for the art, or whoever wanna do it, right in the one that was done early with the thing you can
Yeah.
scan, like that, boom, here, we're looking for art for these things, like. I don't know,
Right, so-
just an idea.
If they're up in October and we don't have anything yet, I'm sure Betsy would have things she would love to display in some display boxes on Pickering Square. So you could always reach out to them, having a partnership, and see if they have anything for a couple months while we get the whole system together.
And this, we can use them for some city display items in the meantime too, so they won't just sit there empty.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of putting information about what's gonna go in there and information about the open call one.
Wanna participate, yeah.
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 Like a see your art here thing. Cool. Any questions on that? Is anybody else interested in coming to see them when we have one?
Sure.
Work it out. Sarah, will you just email the whole commission?
I certainly.
All right. Staff updates. Sorry.
Yes, sorry, I was just writing that down for myself. So I went over a couple of the things already. The other thing I wanted to just let you know, the public restroom art has been completed and I believe was dropped off to Tracy this week.
Awesome.
So I just need to coordinate with him, you know, installation and some sort of like little opening ceremony, and I will send an email around once we've got that.
Cool.
But yeah, it is completed, so that's really exciting.
That'd be very exciting. Do you have any pictures of it?
I don't,
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to get down there and actually see it yet, so, but yeah.
Right. Well, I'm very excited. And yeah, once we have information about possible opening.
Yeah.
I'd love for everybody to show up to that and also share with your network. Any idea?
Well, I
Is
was,
it gonna be in October maybe?
well, that's what I was gonna ask, is if you were still interested in maybe having it be part of like kind of the opening of October and combining the two things, or if you had any other preference that
There's
way.
also a fall sidewalk art festival.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is, it's October 4th.
The sixth,
Isn't the 4th a Saturday?
no, the fifth is a Friday. No, I'm sorry, I'm mixed up this month,
That's this
next month. Yes, you're right.
October, right?
Yeah, October 4th.
Yeah. Would be great if they're ready to go. We could do either a first Friday art walk combination, and that's one of the spots, and we'll have a little opening event. Someone will say a few words. The artist is nearby. I'd love for her to join. And kind of the way we did for the canoe a few
Yeah.
years ago. And then it's also available, and we can make sure Betsy knows that it's ready during the Federal Art Festival, and we can maybe we'll print. We have postcards for the canoe. Any chance you could find out if there's budget to print some postcards?
Yeah.
In the marketing budget rather than the budget. Cause then we could put the cards out on the Sidewalk Art Festival Downtown Bangor Partnership table, so that people know that it's.
Is that, like, would you guys be able to design something for a postcard, or would you like me to also see if our printing staff can do that?
Happy to design something. Or happy for someone to design something if you'd like, but I think we can do that. Yeah. I'd love to use an image of the art,
Yeah,
so we work with the artist. Yeah,
cool.
cool. All right, we have 2 minutes. Anything? Really, the lights don't think we have to.
They're motion censored, so if someone doesn't move in that corner of the room.
Yeah.
I give a plug to the
Yeah.
gala on October 3rd. This is the big one. This is what we've been working on. Big one for me, because I've been working on it for like 8 months. So it's happening October 3rd at the Zillman Art Museum after First Friday, the same day, 7 to 10 p.m. There'll be a jazz band, there'll be a Celtic band, and then there's me DJing at the end. It's gonna be magic, there's gonna be food, there's gonna be drinks, and it's at the Zillman. So, it's an exciting thing to check out, so just tell everybody.
I have a little thing from the library is it's time for artists to submit applications if they want to display art at the library. So if you just want to take one and spread that around to any artist friends.
Cool.
So today is First Friday, so if anybody who wants to go on the walk today, I put a few of the schedules out. I'm sorry I didn't have enough, but if you go to any of the venues, they'll have the map up and hopefully they'll have them hand built by that time. I don't know, probably in all the venues.
And I will say the Dignity First portion of this starts at 3 this afternoon.
Right,
They have some artwork in a variety of windows downtown.
and in shop, and in,
Yeah.
and
So the Rock and Art Shop has a few pieces, I can't remember where else they are. But yeah, these will be visible as you walk by. They should also be up still tomorrow, the Dignity First.
Yeah, I think a month.
Artwork. No,
I'm not sure of that, but I
Yeah.
think that's the case.
I can follow up if anybody has questions. All right, and we are at time. Any other thought questions? All right, I adjourn the meeting.